Hey, what's up out there, friends and fantasy football fans? This is Jason Burchard. I wanted to give you an episode of Pick'ems and Stack'em. So basically, I'm going to give you my picks in like a Pick'em type format or league, and I'm going to rank them to how I feel, and then also I'm going to talk about a Stack'em where basically in the same matchups, like which ones would I use in a stack in like a daily fantasy league or whatever. Um, but pretty much, I'm going to start from the bottom. Basically, there's 14 games. The number one is the lowest that you would rank in like a pick'em league. So, because you're not the most, you don't feel the strongest about that matchup. So pretty much, the one I picked that I feel the least strong about is Seattle at Cincinnati. I think it's two really good teams. I've got Cincinnati. I picked Cincinnati. They're a 3-point favorite. I don't know. I think it's really a toss up there, so I'm only going with a one on that one. It's great offense against great defense, so you know, I picked the home team. I think Seattle's a little shaky, but anybody can come out on top there. Number two, New Orleans at Philly. I'm picking the Eagles there. They're a 4.5-point favorite, and I kind of agree there. I think like on my daily fantasy picks there, I think Bradford may have a good game, so I'm going to go with Philly there. Number three, Cleveland at Baltimore. I'm picking the Ravens. They're a 6.5-point favorite. You know, um, I just think neither team's doing all that well, and so I kind of lean towards Baltimore, but who knows on that one. Number four, Arizona at Detroit. Yeah, both good teams, but I think Arizona's more on a roll. But they did lose uh, versus St. Louis. Speaking of the number five, St. Louis at Green Bay. I think that's a tough one. I do not agree with the line there that Green Bay is a 10-point favorite. But St. Louis has been a good defense, looking a lot better with Gurley in there. And they've beaten Seattle and Arizona. So I think that's more of a tough one to call. So I only put it at 5. Number 6, I got the Bears at Kansas City. I'm actually picking Chicago here. It's my upset. It's kind of a major upset there, but um, I don't know. I think Cutler can get it going against them. Um, and they're not going to put up a whole lot. I wouldn't really go uh, daily fantasy wise with anybody on these games. Maybe Chicago wide receiver Eddie Royal was about the only one I picked. But yeah, I got them ranked at number 6. Like I say, Chicago the underdog. Number 7, Pittsburgh at San Diego. I think the Steelers and Le'Veon Bell, they're going to run against the not so good run defense of San Diego. The Steelers are actually a 3-point underdog because I think with Vic and Le'Veon Bell, it sounds like a good matchup to me. And this is actually one I would pick in a stack lineup. You know, um, Vic, Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown possibly, um, and possibly even Steelers defense. So even though they're a little bit of an underdog, I'm picking the Steelers there. Number 8, Denver at Oakland. Denver's a 4.5-point favorite, but I think it's that would be a great one to take. If you were gambling straight up on that game, well, not straight up, but given 4.5. I think Manning is going to look more like himself against the Raiders, and I'm actually picking Manning in some of my dailies. So I think definitely Denver in that one. Oakland's not been looking too bad, but I think Denver is going to be a lot better here. Number 9, another decent stack matchup. I got Jacksonville at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's a 2.5-point favorite, but I think Tampa Bay's got some weapons. Jacksonville, not so much, and not so much on the defense there. I think Winston and some of them guys will be able to do some stuff against Jacksonville. So, I do think it's going to be. It might be kind of a close game, but I'm definitely leaning Tampa Bay there, and kind of strongly. I've got them ranked at number 9. Number 10, my home team, the Indianapolis Colts. I am from Indiana, by the way, not quite so near Indianapolis, but the Colts at Houston. The looks like the line numbers there, they've got it even, but I think both teams have problems, but I think the Colts have less. So I do feel strongly the Colts can win there. Hopefully we can have luck playing, but I think Hasselbeck looked all right too, so I'm thinking we can beat the Texans. Number 11, San Francisco at the New York Giants. The Giants are 6.5-point favorite, and I agree there. I would take that bet. I'm thinking they're going to win by 10 or more. So I'm feeling pretty strongly about that. San Francisco not doing a whole lot, but I had somebody saying that they were tempted to put the passing game of San Fran against, in their dailies against the Giants, who have technically had the worst passing defense so far, but I think the Giants offense is going to edge out there. So number 12, the Bills at Tennessee. Bills are a 2.5-point favorite, but I would take that bet too. I mean, I think they're going to win by 7 or more. I think Tennessee's okay on offense, but it's just Buffalo's definitely a lot stronger on both sides. So I'm feeling pretty strong about that one. Number 13, another stack matchup. Atlanta home versus the Redskins. They're a 7.5-point favorite. I think that's going to be blown out of the water there. This could be a very very good stack lineup there. And another stack on the number 14, the one I feel the strongest about, of course, is my Colts' rival. The Patriots play at the Cowboys. They're an 8.5-point favorite, and I think that's going to be blown out of the water too. I just think there's not much Dallas can do to stop them, and with Romo out, I think with Romo they would have had a chance, but I just don't think they stand a chance here. All right, to talk about the stack lineups here that I'm thinking could be good this week. First up, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm throwing these guys up here because I just think it's going to be all running game here for Pittsburgh. So, and I think it's a steal. Between the three, really, I think would not be a bad idea to go with Vic at 5,100. Le'Veon Bell is pretty expensive at 8,500, but he gets a ton of work, and I think he's going to do amazing things against San Diego. It's probably going to be a high number thing. He's probably going to be, I would say, like 70% owned. It's going to be pretty high, but I don't think you can pass it up. I would be tempted to pick up D'Angelo Williams too at 4,500 because, if it becomes to be a blowout, they're going to give the work to him. So, and then he can probably do stuff against them too. So, I think Antonio Brown is probably too expensive, especially since they're going to be running the ball like crazy in this game. So I would stay away from him. On to the next game to talk about here, the Patriots. If you want to stack them, it's going to be expensive. But on the same note as Pittsburgh, I think it's going to be a lot of running game too. and pretty cheaply with Dion Lewis at 4,800 and LeGarrette Blount at 4,500. So you might double those up in some of your other lineups, but if you want to stack some of these guys like Brady and Gronk at 78 and 7,500, Edelman at 7,000, they're a little more expensive, but they're going to could put up some crazy numbers there. The next stack lineup, possibly Atlanta. Julio Jones is kind of expensive, but Matt Ryan's not. Julio's 9,200, Matt Ryan's 6,700. Freeman, I think, he could be. He's still a good deal around 6,300, I think, especially if Coleman's going to be out still. And Leonard Hankerson, not bad at 4,000. I would even go with the defense there, 3,200. So, I don't see anything wrong with stacking those 5 for Atlanta. The one I talked about earlier, I think Tampa Bay, it's a risky stack. Maybe you're trying a big tournament or something, but it's a cheap stack. Go with Tampa Bay, Mike Evans, Jameis Winston, 6,100, 5,100, Vincent Jackson, 5,000, Doug Martin, 4,700, Charles Sims, get a little bit of stuff in there, 3,600. But basically, I would go passing game there. And Mike Evans hasn't done a whole lot this year, but I had high hopes for him this year. I really thought he was going to be one of the best. And I remember in my season-long league, I took Julio, I think, in the second round, and I was tempted to take Mike Evans. Kind of glad I took Julio, but I think Mike Evans is gonna be more the guy we wanted him to be too. So, anyways, that's like I said, that's a cheap stack lineup that could pay off pretty well, and then combine some of the guys in the other stacks like the Pittsburgh running game. The Packers, another kind of expensive stack. If you put Rodgers and Cobb in there, but I would actually lean away from Cobb. I don't know. I'm just worried about his history, his injury and stuff. So, go Rodgers maybe in the stack, 7,900. Lacey at 6,700. James Jones 5,700. And I threw in Starks at 3,500. That's cheap because I could see them blowing them out, and then Starks getting the work. But also definitely I would go the tight end Rodgers at 2,900. That's a steal if he can get 16 points like he did recently. He's a great price. So I think that could be a good stack there too. And why not the defense too at 3,100? I think it's a good play. That's pretty much with the stacks and the pick'em. Let me know what you guys think. If there's anything I missed, anything you disagree with, like this video, comment. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and watch some of my other videos, including this week's picks for your daily fantasy lineups. And check back each week, and I'll try to have at least a picks video and one of these pick 'em and stack 'em videos, and some others as I can work them in. So good luck to you all. See you next time. Thank you.